ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
You'll be very glad to hear that I'm not going to stay out here very long by myself, because I have to tell you that our first spot is about food. And the minute I say the word food and the panel hears that, if they don't get out of here in a hurry, they start chewing on each other. So it's about food, and you'll have to wait to find out what kind and how come. And here's the hungry panel. Hey there.
Nipsey Russell. Kitty Carlisle. Bill Collins. And Peggy Cass. Panel, don't be shy. Dig in.
Oh, boy.
There are
Good bread, good meat, good God.
Chinese goodies in front of you. Peggy just put her cover on top of Bill's food.
Yeah, I got a fingernail
That was
full.
nice of it. Each dish is individual unto itself. So play around, swap around if you like.
I can't even.
All right, let's lean back now and meet the man responsible. Let's say hello to our Chinese chef.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Stuart Berman.
Number two.
My name is Stuart Berman.
Number three.
My name is Stuart Berman.
And here is Stuart Berman's Chinese culinary compendium. He says, I, Stuart Berman, cooked my way through graduate school. As a sort of a rent-a-chef, I prepared Chinese banquets to be served in people's homes. In front of Nipsey Russell is a platter which includes my hot and sour cucumbers in pickle-style slices and shredded chicken in peanut sauce. How does that go, Nips, the chicken and the peanut combination?
Tastes very much like onions and cucumbers.
Did it well, then. Kitty Carlisle is sampling anisette tea eggs and marinated deep-fried whiting. Any comments, madam?
I changed with Bill.
Well, you may have changed with Bill, but I'm going to read what it says here. I got enough trouble without you doing
I got the shrimps. They're delicious.
Well, good for you. Bill Cullen is nibbling on yellow Chinese radish and chilled marinated shrimp.
No, that's what Kitty got.
Thanks a lot, fellas. At Peggy's desk is a fresh-cooked helping of chicken and walnuts.
Oh, good, too.
Are you good?
Delicious. Now you don't swap. This is delicious.
Just don't bite your knuckles.
It's sort of like Thanksgiving with Chinese sauce, walnuts.
What Bill has, either chicken salad or chocolate cake. I can't figure out.
Anyhow, the affidavit continues to say, Chinese cooking and Chinese culture have always been a great interest of mine.
Of course.
I am named for John Leighton Stewart, the last American ambassador to China. My mother runs a Chinese restaurant in Washington, D.C., where the most illustrious takeout customer is President Richard M. Nixon. Signed, Stuart Berman. Can't you see Pat running down to the corner and say, 2 chow mein to go, Dick, and I want to live it up? Friends, we'll be right back after a commercial or 2 or 12 and get right into this.
$1,095 stereo system for $6.
It's time to go shopping.
One of these teams may be going home with $5,000.
Edie will buy it for $3.
Your grand total is...
I can't breathe.
We know it's not easy dealing with a lung condition, but paying for it can really take your breath away. After all, the cost of breathing medications can add up quickly. Studies show a nebulizer can be easier to use and more effective than an inhaler. But even better, the portable nebulizer and your breathing medications may be covered by Medicare Part B and supplemental insurance. So if you have Medicare, call Med4Home right now. Med4Home is a mail-order pharmacy that's been helping people since 1998. We're here to help. In fact, We're a Medicare contracted supplier with pharmacists available 24/7. We will contact your doctor, handle the paperwork, and deliver to your door with no additional cost for shipping. We even carry long-acting medications. So call Med4Home now and breathe a huge sigh of relief. Call 1-800-321-0168 for more information.
Introducing Eargo, a breakthrough in hearing aid technology. They're small, comfortable, rechargeable, and everything you never expected a hearing aid to be. Eargos feature our patented Flexies, which suspend them inside the ear canal, making them virtually invisible. So unless you know someone who has X-ray vision, no one will know you're wearing them. And they're so comfortable, you might forget you're wearing them. But don't worry, they won't take offense. Eargos fit into your everyday life seamlessly, which means you won't miss a moment. And Eargos are rechargeable, so you can forget about replacing expensive batteries, because there's nothing more frustrating than those tiny hearing aid batteries. Except for unwanted background noise. But don't worry, our advanced noise reduction technology takes care of that. Simply put, Eargos are the best hearing aids on the planet. Call or go online now and get Eargo. Attractive financing options are available. Eargo. Hear life to the fullest.
Hi, you remember us from a minute ago. You also remember that we have three gentlemen across here all claiming to be Stuart Berman, who has prepared the Chinese food that our panel is now devouring. And Peggy, we usually, for some reason, start our food questions with you.
I can't imagine why.
No, come on.
Number 2, why do Bill's eggs there look so marbleized on the outside?
Well, they're designed to look that way. It's supposed to simulate Chinese porcelain with the cracks.
Oh, gee, that's
It's just a
cute.
decorative effect.
Oh, number 3, what's mushy pork?
Mushy pork is pork that is mushy. I mean, actually,
And now, number 1, what kind of soup is served in a melon?
I believe it's winter melon soup.
Thank you. And number 2, why do the Chinese, the very sort of high-class Chinese, used to use ivory chopsticks?
Well, just because ivory was more expensive than bamboo. And
Thank you. Number 3, what is the difference between... No, number 1, what's the difference between Hunan, Sichuan, and Cantonese cooking?
Sichuan cooking is the spicy cooking of China, and Hunan is also spicy, but it also has characteristics of other parts of China. It's somewhat similar to Cantonese food.
That buzzer takes us down to Nipsey Russell.
Didn't know I knew so much, huh?
I remember her there with rice in her hair, but it wasn't her wedding night. We were in a Chinese restaurant and having a heck of a fight. Number 1, can you tell me the name of that little concave instrument in which a lot of Chinese cooking is done?
Well, Americans know that as a wok.
And what do Chinese call it?
Well, Cantonese call it a wok.
I see.
Seems
Okay,
unreasonable.
number 2, which is the considered a greater delicacy as a staple Chinese food, noodles or rice?
well, each is a delicacy in the area that it's not available in. I noodles somewhat, but see, the South is the rice culture, and the North
see.
primarily noodles.
Thank you. Number 3 is...
Kitty Carlisle, isn't it?
I find it very hard to keep my head on the questions when food is in front of me because I love to eat, but I'll try. Number 1, were you born in China?
No, I was not.
Oh. Well, number 2, were you born in China?
Yes, I was.
And that's why you were named for John Leighton Stewart?
Well, I might have been, even if my father had known him here, but I was named for him.
I see. And number 3, I love good Chinese restaurants. Has your mother been in Washington a long time?
she's been there for about 10 years, yes.
I see. And number 2, who comes to get Mr. Nixon's food when he gets his takeout dinner?
Just any aide that's around.
All foreign things.
Jill St. John, actually.
No, that's a bad joke.
That is a dish.
I'd like to bring this conversation back to food.
Very well, ma'am.
When you...
Now let's go to the fellow who appreciates this kind of cooking more than anybody, I can tell you. Bill Peanut Butter Sandwich Cullen.
Yeah, I ended up with it anyhow because without... You got to bring Peggy a fork and a spoon because I got her chicken and walnuts in my lap here. Number one, the one thing we haven't asked about all this, you prepare it to serve at a person's home. What is the cost of a complete, impressive Chinese dinner for, say, 12 people? I mean...
Well, and a very special dinner would cost anywhere from $30 to $50 per person.
Wow.
Wow.
What do you, for 30, I'll stick with you, number one. For $30 or $50 a person, what do you have that is so expensive there?
Well, you have the exotic type dishes like Peking duck, which take 2 or 3 days of preparation, and you also have a great many carved things on the table. It's also very decorative.
Number two.
I'm sorry. I was getting hungry just listening. The bell rang, and that means that you must put down your food, pick up your crayon, and mark your ballots, while the audience and I assess our own evaluation. Do we think it's number 1, or number 2, or number 3?
My son needs this drug. I hope it doesn't cost too much. I hope my insurance pays for it. Can you tell me how much this will be?
67.
Sorry. Wait, have you heard about GoodRx?
GoodRx finds free coupons to help you save up to 80% on your prescriptions.
How? I had no idea.
GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions.
Attention, all women diagnosed with ovarian cancer in the past 15 years. In July 2018, a jury awarded $4.6 billion against Johnson & Johnson on behalf of 22 women diagnosed with ovarian cancer from using baby powder and shower-to-shower products. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and used any of these products, you may be entitled to a substantial settlement. Call now or go to ovariansettlements.com. You have a limited time to file a claim, so don't wait.
Got an idea for an invention, but don't know what to do next? Call my friends at InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. It's easy.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Your idea deserves a chance. Don't wonder what to do next. Step into the ring and take your best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Take action and get the help you need from InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-712-8766. That's 800-712-8766.
As you might know, we pay $50 to each wrong vote. We pay $500 if all the votes are incorrect. And Peggy has just made up her mind.
I did. Well, the thing is, I voted for number 2. However, I was always told that ivory chopsticks were used because if they were trying to poison the emperor, the chopsticks turned black if there was poison in them.
Never heard that.
Well, the cab driver told me, so I don't think it's really the gospel, but I believed it at the time. Hunan food is more spicy than Szechuan food, a man from Hunan told me. And number 3, mushy pork comes in a nice grip. Anyway, I go with you 2.
All righty, we got a 2 short. And what's Nipsey to say?
Number 2 had some great answers, but I did hear somebody say once that Peking duck took a long time to prepare. So on that one answer alone, I went with number 1.
You got a 1 and a 2, Kitty?
I voted for number 2. I think his mother is the great chef, and he's the one that takes out the food.
Got a pair of 2s, and there we go. Bill Cullen, what are you doing?
I got to disqualify myself.
Why?
My chopsticks are turning black. No. I wonder if you're trying to tell me something.
Some rival MC.
$50 a person, and you don't even get fortune cookies. In spite of that, number 1 seemed to me the one who knew the most, but for that reason, I dipped myself in my fried writing there.
So we've got a pair of 1s and a pair of 2s, and here we go. Will the real Stuart Berman, wherever you are, please stand up.
Come on, Stewie.
There.
Thank you, sir. Nice going, gentlemen. Number 2, tell us about you.
My name is Steve Zisk, and I'm just killing some time, actually, before I go on to graduate school in psychology in September.
Oh, nice for you to kill it here. Thank you. And number 3, tell us about you.
My name is Bruce Michael Kalnitsky. I operate Bruce Michael Productions, a management and producing organization.
Good luck. Stuart, now that graduate school is over, are you still sort of hiring yourself out as a part-time chef, or what are you doing?
No, I'm not doing the catering service anymore. Presently, I rent myself out to individual and chain restaurants as a consultant, teaching their American chefs the art of Chinese cooking and instructing their managers in Chinese kitchen organization and management.
Well, up on the executive level. Hey, good luck, Stuart. That sounds fine. Thank you, gentlemen, also for being with us on To Tell the Truth. Take care.
Password Plus, Super Password Tattletales, Card Sharks, The Buzzard Daytime Tango starts today at 2.
Wow.
On Buzzer.
In the connected world we live in, our personal information is everywhere. What happens if that information gets in the hands of criminals?
Someone benefited from this. We were the ones on the hook for it. We can't pay a $50,000 bill.
Cyber criminals around the world keep finding new ways to steal your personal information, and it could be right from your personal computer or smartphone. That's why LifeLock includes the power of Norton for even more protection for your identity and your devices, where so much of your personal information lives.
Knowing that Norton and LifeLock are on my side makes me feel even more confident about the protection that I have for my identity.
Monitoring your credit isn't enough to see if your identity is being used by thieves. LifeLock helps you see more threats like your information on the dark web. And now, with the power of Norton, we help defend your personal information on your devices from ransomware, spyware, and more. And if you have an identity theft problem, a U.S.-based restoration agent will work to fix it.
There's a whole team of people that are working on my behalf.
Only LifeLock members are covered by LifeLock's powerful $1 million protection package, including reimbursement of stolen funds and personal expenses up to the limits of your plan, and lawyers and experts if that's what it takes.
I was covered through my membership, and I received a check for approximately $1,200.
Join for as low as $9.99 per month and get 30 days free with promo code JOINNOW. All memberships include identity threat detection and alerts, with agents working to fix issues, LifeLock's $1 million protection package, and award-winning Norton security protection for up to 5 devices.
I've got 2 industry leaders to help protect my identity and my devices.
LifeLock with Norton. Call 1-800-508-2206 or visit LifeLockDeal.com. Use promo code JOINNOW to get your 30 days free and a free shredder with annual membership. Call right now.
Now let's say hello to our expert on disasters.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Russell Dines.
Number 2.
My name is Russell Dines.
Number 3.
My name is Russell Dines.
And here is the disastrous document of Russell Dines. He says, I, Russell Dines, am the co-director of a disaster research center at a major university. It is our job to investigate such occurrences as earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, and tornadoes, and find out what really happens. We've discovered that people do not panic or go into shock. They do not engage in disorganized flight. Instead, they rise to the occasion and help each other in every possible way. Crime rates actually dip. The expected looting is at a minimum. All in all, people are at their best during a disaster. The popular misconception of disasters often come from false reports by the press. After an orderly evacuation during Hurricane Carla, one newspaper reported that the people had fled in panic, which was not true at all. And during the Alaskan earthquake of 1964, the press reported that 1,000 people were dead in Anchorage alone. In reality, the Anchorage death toll was 7. Signed, Russell Dines. And Nipsey, I don't know how much you know about natural disasters, but have a go at it.
Other than the ones in which I participate on stage, nothing. I tell you, number 1, you stated in your affidavit here that looting is at a minimum, but I have read that in both the recent earthquake in Nicaragua and the crash of the 10/11 in Miami. The first people there were the looters.
Well, these, again, I think by and large are false press reports. There may be some looting, but it's certainly not the problem that is usually implied.
Thank you. Number two, when you say you and your staff determined this, how did you determine it? Did you just ask random people who had been at crash scenes or what?
In a manner of speaking, yes. First we go in as observers after a disaster, and we talk to the people in charge, okay, the normal people in charge, because they're the normal people that take over in the event of a disaster. Again, public opinion to the contrary, it may be Red Cross.
Number three, how does one go about preparing people for such a disaster? New York, for example, is quite a highly populated city. Are there any warnings? Do we have any instructions as to what to do in case of something like an earthquake?
No, we don't. Part of the problem is that people in control, civil defense people, don't want the public to panic when actually the public does not.
Number one.
Thank you, Nipsa, and there goes Kitty.
Thank you. Number one, in the course of your investigation, what did you discover? During what kind of a disaster do people panic the most? Earthquake, fire, typhoons, whatever?
Well, panic is a very rare phenomenon. It probably occurs in a few situations, somewhat like theater fires.
I see. Thank you. Number two, is it not true that a lady, for instance, who runs out of a burning house will try to go back inside to rescue something as foolish as a sofa cushion?
Again, that varies with individuals, and we don't usually look at this type of disaster in this manner. We're trying to see a general overall picture of how people act as a society.
Thank you. Number three, what will this do for the rest of us once you've determined how people behave?
Well, it is already helping. Our information is provided to the civil defense authorities in major cities across the country.
And Bill Cullum, what do you want to know?
Number one, I ask you how you determined, for instance, that there was no looting when the press reported that there was. How did you determine that there wasn't?
Well, there have been studies that have tried to follow this up very carefully in investigating all reports of looting. There are a number of reports of looting, but the question of whether they are authenticated is another thing.
Well, number two, as an example of the looting that was reported in the press and then shown in film during the Watts riots, the looting was actually shown. Were your findings other than that which we saw actually on the screen?
Again, I might point out that looting and evidence of disaster is news, whereas non-looting and non-evidence of disaster is not news. Therefore, the media plays up that news aspect. That sells newspapers and media.
Peggy Cash, you're the last one here.
Thank you. Number one, was the Anchorage disaster was an earthquake, was it not?
Right.
Thank you. Number two, what university are you with?
Georgetown.
Thank you. And number three, which university are you with?
University of Miami.
And number one, could you tell me which university you're with?
Ohio State University.
Okay. Now, number two, isn't there a major United States university that specializes in earthquake predictions?
Yes.
What is that?
Georgetown, also.
Oh, how about that? Now, number three, is there something that happens above the ground when before an earthquake really strikes? Is there not an indication above ground of something that's going to happen below the ground?
If you're talking about birds, that's a false indication.
Thank you. Number one, do you think San Francisco is due for another earthquake?
Well, I think it's on a fault, yes. It's on San Andreas Fault.
Thank you. Well, now, number two, San Francisco built above exactly where they'd had an earthquake before, and apparently Managua, Nicaragua is going to build above that. It's okay that people don't panic, but shouldn't they smarten up and not build where they're going to get pushed down again?
That's a common question that's asked me. Not necessarily. That's their home, that's where they live, and that's where they've been living, and they don't want to leave.
Yeah, but if you had a leaky cellar, you'd try and sell it to somebody else and get out of there. I don't know.
And I think at this point that we should vote. We should decide. What do we think? Do we think it's number one? Or do we think it's number two? Or do we think it's number three? And Nipsey, if you've made up your mind, we'll ask for an expression, old man.
I made up my mind when they walked out.
Did you?
He also said a number of things that I happen to know to be true, or which I have read and heard. So I think it's number two, because he looks like I want him to look. And if you don't let it be number two, I'm going to burn this joint to the ground.
A solidarity vote for number two.
You don't mean that, Nipsey.
No.
No, I know you better than that. I'm going to vote for number 2, although I don't believe that that's the college that specializes in earthquake information, but I think it's number 2 also.
All right, I got a pair of 2s, Sean. Bill Cullen, how are you going to go?
Just for the record, if Nipsey does burn this joint to the ground, I'm not going to panic because I've been wanting to do the same thing for a long time. In spite of the Georgetown and the seismographic, I was figured for him, but number 2 had the authority and the ability to speak about this. I went for him, too.
We have a huge unanimity building up here. It's 3 for 2, and Peggy, you're looking devilish. You're going to go for somebody else.
No, but the reason I voted for 2, which I did
vote for 2.
is because the Jesuits have that big place at Weston that has the big seismograph thing, and they're connected to Georgetown in some faint way.
true.
So I voted for 2.
You voted for the...
Yeah, those guys specialize in earthquakes.
You voted for the Jesuits, so we have another case of solidarity here. I don't know how this voting is being done nowadays, but the votes are all in. Will the real Russell Dines please stand up? Hello, friends. Marvelous job. Absolutely great. Let's find out about who your friends are, Mr. Dines. Number 2, what is your real name and what do you do?
It should have been him. I'm Ed Jones, and I'm president of Apex Computer Services. And I'm also...
Wait, you're also what?
And I'm also an ex-member of the Count Basie Orchestra. I've been on your show.
Now, number 3, sir, identify yourself.
I am Walter Joyce, and I'm manager of communications for Philip Morris Incorporated.
Good deal. Mr. Dines, I want to congratulate you and your team members. Nifty job. You cost us $500, cheerfully paid. Thank you, Russell Dines and friends.
It's only a matter of time until your check engine light comes on, or worse yet, your car needs repair. That could mean a big surprise auto repair bill. Those repairs are more expensive than ever. A new engine can be over $5,000. A new transmission over $4,000. That's why it's so important you call CarShield today. CarShield is the #1 auto protection company in the country.
I like CarShield because they were reliable, they were affordable, and they were trustworthy.
Well, I think everybody should have CarShield. Once your manufacturer's warranty is expired, there's just no big bills. If we needed repairs, CarShield was there for us.
Now it's your turn to get the peace of mind that comes with having CarShield, so you can worry less about auto repairs. Call or go online right now to get CarShield for yourself. Friendly, knowledgeable, money-saving representatives are available 24 hours a day. So if your car is 20 years old or newer, just tell us the make and model of your car or truck to get an instant plan quote. In a matter of minutes, you can be covered.
I was elated that I had CarShield. I was more than happy.
It's no fun when you have a car and it's broken and you can't pay for it to get it fixed.
Here's how CarShield works. When your car needs repair, you take it to your favorite mechanic or even your dealer, and CarShield gets them paid directly. That's why CarShield is America's #1 auto protection provider.
CarShield is just the best thing to take away the fear that when something is going to go wrong with your car, because it will, and CarShield is going to be there to back you up.
My experience with CarShield is that they absolutely come through every time I need them.
If my car breaks down, I can count on CarShield to cover it for me. CarShield definitely has my back.
Now it's the time to make the smart choice and protect yourself from sky-high auto repair bills. Call now for a free and instant protection plan quote. It's only a matter of time until repairs are needed, and once your car breaks down, it's too late.
Call 1-800-912-9742. That's 1-800-912-9742.
What do you do when they tell you you got 2 seconds to say goodbye? You say goodbye. Goodbye. This is Bill Wendell speaking for To Tell the Truth on Mark Goodson, Bill Totman Production.